Hey guys, I'm Clifton, and welcome to another bourbon review. Today we are reviewing Blood Oath Pact 6. So this is actually my first bottle of Blood Oath that I've ever bought. I have tried Pact 5 at the Lux Row Distillery when I was there in October, hence the hat. But this is my first time actually buying a bottle, so I was really surprised to see it show up in California liquor stores already, especially since this product pretty much just came out. If you don't know much about Blood Oath, it is a yearly release from Lux Row Distillery. They do a lot of different blending, a lot of different finishing. This one, though, really caught my eye, and I will tell you why. Well, first of all, it's a pretty sexy bottle. So Pact 6 is a blend of 3 different high-rye bourbons. One is a 14-year, one's 8, and one is 7 years. But the most interesting thing is this is finished in cognac casks. So the only distillery that I know that does that is Bardstown Bourbon Company, I believe, had a release that did that. But also High West occasionally will put out a release with a cognac finish. And I have loved some of those finished whiskeys. I am starting to grow into being a brandy person a bit. Copper and Kings, one of my favorite distillery tours I did in Kentucky, and it wasn't even bourbon. Really love their products. So I'm digging that cognac taste. So I think that would be a perfect finish for an already expertly blended bourbon. So we're going to try this out and give you my first impressions. I didn't mention, but this is actually a $100 whiskey, which is up there for me. I don't typically spend that much on something unless it's like a Buffalo Trace Antique Collection or something, if I got it for 100. So I rarely spend this much, so let's see if it pays off. So even though this does have some 14-year-old whiskey in there, it's not the darkest. I'm pretty sure Pact 5 was a little darker, but I could be thinking of the 12-year-old double barreled that I had at the same time. I don't remember exactly which one. So not very dark, but it's really pretty. I mean, I'm probably saying that because it's $100, but you know. So on the nose, it definitely smells like an older bourbon. You guys know I love older Knob Creek store picks. I get a very similar nose to that. Almost like an old oak chest with a little bit of mustiness, maybe some leather. But a lot of the age on the nose. But beyond that, I think where I'm getting the influence from the cognac is this almost, I would say, tangy kind of fruit note. It's not exactly orange, but it's up there in that family. I don't know if it's like what kind of citrus is, but it's some kind of citrus. And that's really nice with that dark tobacco leather note. I don't think I've ever gotten that kind of fruitiness on something so deep and dark. I mean, I get some fruitiness on some Stag Junior, but that's more like a berry fruitiness. This one is definitely more citrus. So I'm excited to finally give this a try and see if I can pick out more of that cognac flavor. Cheers. So it's not as heavy as some older releases. Now, the cool thing about Blood Oath is they always bottle at 98.6, which is, of course, the temperature of the body. I think that's a really cool detail. So I almost forgot that, and I was like, wait, this doesn't really drink like a high-proof cask strength whiskey. Then I remembered it's not a high-proof cask strength whiskey. So keeping that in mind, I really do like the finish on this. It's not as big, bold mouthfeel that you would get on something that is a cask strength, but it has a really long finish for a relatively low proof. On second taste, I get a lot more sweetness that's not just that fruit. It's more in the vanilla caramel territory, and I'm wondering if that is enhanced by that finish, but it's really bright on the finish, and I guess that's probably coming from the cognac. I mean, it's a long finish, but it's definitely got that citrus kind of twang at the end, but in a really bright way, and I really do dig this. I mean, yes, it's a $100 bottle, but to be fair, I've had worse $100 bottles. I've had worse bottles that are over $100, so I'm not quite sure how this compares to the other packs. Like I said, I only tried Pact 5. I do remember liking it enough to make me want to buy Pact 6, so there's that. Now, when it comes to value, here's where it gets kind of tricky. If you are an avid fan of the Blood Oath series, whether you're a collector or you just really like it, hands down, yes, get Pact 6. I think Pact 6 is a really solid release in the lineup. However, if you're like me and you're a little more budget focused, there are things that I would rather have in my glass that are single barrels or small batch that are cask strength, and they're under $60. I mean, I don't want to name names, but there are a few that I would rather have. So that being said, I think this is really, really unique with that cognac finish, and definitely shows up way more on the nose than on the palate. I wish there was a little bit more of a punch you in the face with that finishing note. I love finished whiskeys that you can tell immediately that it's been finished. I know a lot of people don't like them, but for me, I think it's really cool. But overall, this is a very solid release from a limited edition. It comes out once a year. You can tell I'm a fan of Lux Row. I obviously have their merch. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of like a sort of recommend. If you're a fan of the series, grab it. If you want to try it and you got some, got some of your stimulus check left over, then maybe pick it up. But for me, it's pretty good, and I will definitely enjoy this bottle. So that's all I got to say about this. Let me know if you've had this and if you've compared it with any other of the Blood Oath series. I'm curious to see how it compares. Or if you are passing up because of this, that, or whatever reason. So, alright guys, until next time, I will see you here. If you're new here, thank you for showing up. I go live on Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for those. Make sure to hit the bell button because you will be notified when I go live, which is awesome. I love hanging out with you guys. So cheers. And I'm here to help you drink good whiskey. Blood Oath, it's good whiskey. It's just, a little pricey. Cheers.